welcome to this Vainglory actual hero spotlight, featuring Idris, the hero whose name I can't pronounce. Idris is a melee-ranged, major weapon power, unkillable glass cannon, baton twirling pile of contradictions. Seriously, he has 3 different build paths, 2 different auto attack forms, 4 different abilities, and like 20 different attack combos. Which dev thought, hey, let's make a crazy, confusing, and yet incredibly strong hero that can literally fit into any team comp perfectly. It's like Vainglory is a game of Uno, and Idris is the fucking draw 4, choose the next color wildcard. Alright, let's just do this. Idris's passive is the last question of my Calc 4 final exam. Idris uses his own resource called stamina for abilities. Your stamina pool scales with energy items, and your stamina regen scales with energy regen items, but your stamina isn't energy. I mean, sure, this goes completely against the most basic rules of algebra, but you know, screw it. That's not even the most confusing part though. If you have 125 weapon power, you cause your A to become an instantaneous blink, your auto attacks restore 10 stamina, and the cooldown of your A and alt gets reduced by 1 second for each auto attack. But there's more. If you have 125 crystal power, your auto attacks become both ranged and melee, and they receive a 90% crystal power scaling, but are reduced to 50% weapon power scaling on bonus weapon power when ranged. And that's it. Simple, right? Also, to graphically show just how stupidly complicated Idris's passive is, I've written it all as C source code for your enjoyment. Idris's A is a better version of Vox's Sonic Zoom. When cast, Idris dashes a short distance to a chosen target location, and if you get your weapon power passive thingy, it becomes a blink. Also, his next auto attack after using his A is empowered, and if his white power bar is full, he gets a pretty nice barrier which scales with weapon power. I'm not joking, he literally gets a white bar that indicates if he has the power to use his barrier. Oh, and that bar will stay full as long as you don't take damage. This ability is what makes weapon power Idris completely stupid. He has a defensive ability that scales with an offensive stat. With 2 Sour Blades and an overdriven A, he gets an instantaneous blink, deals 540 weapon power damage, and gets a 625 health barrier every 6 seconds. Oh, and did I mention that if you can buy crit chance, your empowered auto can crit? Okay, so his Shroud Step is stupid, but that's just one ability. I mean, the rest of his kit must be shit to balance that, right?
Wrong.
His B is just as secretly OP. When cast, Idris throws a weird boomerang thing that apparently isn't a boomerang. Each time Idris hits something with his totally not a boomerang, he gets 15 stamina and deals some damage. This seems super mundane, right?
Wrong.
The real kicker for this ability is that you can dodge it with your A or alt, causing it to continue to fly around damaging whoever it touches. A really simple combo is to use your B at an enemy, then as it's coming back, dash through it with your A. This will cause you to miss it, and then you can run behind your enemy, which can get it to hit your enemy an extra time. Plus, if you're really good, you can dodge it again by alting onto your enemy, causing it to hit them yet again. Or did I mention that because this thing has a ridiculously short cooldown of 5 seconds when overdriven, you can throw the second one out while your first one is being dodged, which gives you 2 to 3 more hits on that enemy. That's up to 7 passes on your enemy, which amounts to 875% weapon power damage, plus the base 250 damage. If you have 2 Sour Blades, that's 3,750 weapon power damage, not including the empowered auto attack from your A and the damage from your alt. Oh, and did I also mention that because there is absolutely no limit to how many enemies your B can hit, you can actually deal 3,750 weapon power damage to the entire enemy team, giving you a grand total of 11,250 weapon power damage. So yeah, in conclusion, Idris's B is completely busted. Okay, one last ability. Idris's alt is a way better version of Taka's Kaiten. When activated, Idris latches onto an enemy and becomes untargetable for up to 1.2 seconds or an ally for up to 2.8 seconds. If the target is an enemy, Idris deals 1 damage upon latching on. When he jumps off, he deals 500 plus 1000% of his total weapon power as AoE damage to all surrounding enemies. This ability is more cheese than function. It deals okay damage, but there are really only 3 reasons why you're going to use it. The first is to dodge your chakrams. The second is to save your life in fights when you're getting targeted. And the third is to be a boss and hit your ride back to base on your ally's back. Also, fun fact, the reason why it deals 1 damage upon use on an enemy is so that you can't ride a porting enemy back to their base. This wasn't the case in development, and it was super fun. Just saying. Alright, so now you're an Idris god, but what do you build? There are probably at least 10 viable Idris builds, but those are all stupid. Today I will tell you my top 3 completely horrible and yet completely fun Idris builds. Build number 1, the Lightsaber Idris build. The Lightsaber Idris build revolves around deleting your enemies from the source code of Vainglory with your A. Here are the items. To use correctly, you must have your alternating current, aftershock, and tension bow all ready. Then you must A onto an enemy, which causes your empowered auto attack to be melee. This means that you will deal 1000% weapon power, plus 90% crystal power, plus aftershock, plus tension bow, plus alternating current. With your full build at level 12, that is over 1,500 damage, and against beefy enemies it can be upwards of 2,000 damage. Oh, remember that all happens in less than half a second. If lightsaber Idris build isn't your cup of tea, no worries. Iron Man Idris is a great alternative. With Iron Man Idris you deal no damage, but you don't really care because the enemy just tickles. The idea is that you can stack cooldown resistances and just rely on your Ace barrier. It's stupid and bad, and I love it. Alright, so maybe you want to winter game it too. If so, the Death by 1,000 Cuts build is for you. This build requires a good balance of defense and offense, but if it gets going, you'll dominate. It relies on a 1 second cooldown reduction from your auto attacks. Basically, you blink onto the enemy's backline and beat them to death with your stick. It's not pretty, but it's about as simple as it gets. Do note that because this build requires more than one auto attack to kill your enemy, you'll need to time your aggression so you don't get insta-killed. Okay, so this is awkward, but this is the end of the script. I got lazy and I didn't want to write anymore, so hopefully you enjoyed. If you didn't, please just say you did, and yeah, bye. Oh, yeah, I said Idris instead of Idris the entire time to trigger you all. Did it work?